Guess what, guys? We got our first Patreon subscriber.
Woohoo!
Lisa C. Shout out to Lisa C., who is our very first Patreon subscriber. You made our day today. Thank you so much. We just started a Patreon. You do rock. Because podcasting is hard, y'all. And we are not getting anything in return other than
cheers to Lisa.
Cheers to Lisa. Other than the joy of doing this and getting really unique information out there for the nursing community, it's hard. So if you want to support us, we now have a Patreon up and running. We're going to be working on some little extras for you guys, but we just wanted to jump on and say thank you, Lisa C., for being the first Patreon subscriber.
I'm Nurse Jessica Seitz, along with Nurse Erica. We're Nurses Uncorked, the podcast that takes nursing facts with nursing comedy and makes a little cocktail out of it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Nurses Uncorked. This is Nurse Jessica Seitz with my lovely blonde bombshell. I like calling Erica just lovely things. Nurse Erica next to me. And we have a guest today. I'm just going to get right into it. Normally I talk a lot, but super excited. We have Jen Hamilton on our podcast today. And if you don't know who Jen Hamilton is, you've been living under a rock or something.
Where are you if you don't know?
Or you must not be on TikTok, that's for sure. Hi, Jen. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're so excited you're here today.
Yeah.
Is this where you do a lot of your filming right now, where I'm seeing you? Like, I feel
in
like
my bed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I'm a very easy peasy, no fuss. You know what I'm saying? I just roll out of bed. Well, not even roll out of bed. I'm still in the bed. But yeah, I kind of just sit in my bed and do my videos or whatever.
I do it on the couch. Yeah.
I'm all about comfort. So I'm gonna, for those of you who don't know who Jen is, I'm gonna give you a little brief info and kind of tell you today we're gonna be talking about cancel culture, which is a topic I've been wanting to discuss on here for a while, and I've been begging Erica to do this topic with me because it's if you don't know what cancel culture is, Erica's going to define it and get all into it, but it's something that I very much am familiar with, and I know a lot of other social media creators are familiar with that. And we're going to get into details about that, but let's talk about Jen for a minute, and then we'll do the drink of the week. What do you guys think? Sound good?
Yeah,
sounds good.
Let's do it.
Okay, so all right. And if I'm wrong, Jen, tell me. Be like, that is not true. But if I am wrong, it's off of your website, so you have problems. Okay. All right. Jen began her career back in 2012 as an ER nurse, and then in 2018 decided to switch over to L&D, which is very near and dear to my heart, and is board certified in both ER nursing and inpatient obstetrics. She is married, has 2 boys. That's right, Jen?
That's all correct. You got it.
Okay, I'm doing good so far. This is the quote that I loved, and I told Erica this. I was going to laugh. So on her website, on Jen's website, it says, while others may have stopped working bedside, like me, like Nurse Jessica did. That's not what her website says. It doesn't say like Nurse Jessica did. But Jen still does both. She's does social media and has a huge following, and also still works labor and delivery simultaneously. She does public speaking, travels all over the place, talks about keeping patients safe, how to keep patients happy, and what we can do as healthcare workers, nurses, all of us, in listening to your patient and communicating with them better. The one thing I really love, and I'll want Jen to talk about this, is the Hot Mess Express, because that sounds like me in a nutshell. I mean, if there was a better title that for me, that it would be that. But if it's a nonprofit that helps moms, and I'll let you explain it a little bit better, but they go in and help moms that are just struggling or just having trouble keeping up with life. I'll let Jen tell us a little bit about that for a minute.
Yeah, so it's an organization of moms who go into the homes of moms who are struggling, whether they have postpartum depression, anxiety. We've had moms who are sick with cancer. We've had moms with sick kids. And we basically just go in and do the things that when you're going through something are the hardest to do, like dishes, laundry, organization, clutter, that kind of stuff. And so we just give them a reset, because it's very hard to move forward when you feel like your house is holding you down. So it started back a few years ago. I'm sure we're all familiar with like moms groups on Facebook and how crazy they can be.
Mm-hmm.
But in one of the moms groups that I'm in, there was a mom who posted anonymously in the group and just asked for suggestions for cleaning companies. She was struggling with postpartum depression and anxiety, had 2 very small children. And she said, I'm so embarrassed of the way that I live, but I can't seem to dig myself out of what I'm going through. She said, I don't have the money for this, but I can't continue living this way. And so, there are people that commented saying like, oh, we'll try this cleaning company or this cleaning company. But I was like, we are missing something huge here. Like, we were always meant to live in a village and, have people that support us. And, I consider moms groups of moms, a village. And so I posted separately and was like, hey, everybody saw that post, right? Like, is there anybody that would be willing to, let's find out who this girl is, if she's okay with that, and just go rescue her. Like, this is what, community is all about. And so just a few days later, with her permission, of course, we showed up at her house, and there were like 8 or 10 of us, and we just got to work, and
that's awesome.
We rescued her. And then after we finished that, we didn't all go home. We went to a park and kind of debriefed, like, this was something big. Like, this, I think, could be a thing. And so since then, it's become an actual nonprofit. We have chapters all over the country, and we just kind of do everything that we can to make sure that moms feel supported in their communities.
That's awesome.
That is amazing. And people can donate.
I would like to be
help,
involved
right?
with that. If you need helpers or anything,
I
really would love to do something like that.
Yeah, we have a website. It's hotmessexpress.co, and there you'll be able to find how you can get involved. If there's one near you, if there's not one near you, how you can get one started. We kind of give you all of the ways that you can get started. So yeah, it's a great way to give back to your community, especially if you've been somebody who's been there before. I think that all of us as moms can say, I remember feeling like, man, I wish someone would dig me out of what I'm going through.
Yeah, it gets overwhelming. And sometimes the most mundane daily tasks are seemingly insurmountable. I've definitely
because that's the stuff you push to the back burner because you got to deal with all the other stuff first, like keeping your children alive.
Exactly.
Right? So before we get into cancel culture, I'm going to do our cocktail of the week that we do every week. And this is really going to be fast and quick. And I made it up this morning because I fell back asleep and did not buy my mimosa mix. So this could taste disgusting. I have no idea. And I have named it after Jen. I've named it the Swaddled Chicken. That's what I named this drink.
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
It's either going to be great or it's going to be disgusting. But I think either way, it's kind of fitting because chickens can be messy, you know?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah. So this has been in my pantry for like a year. And this is just sparkling rosé is how Erica says it. This is non-alcoholic.
It's not
here.
rose.
So this is going to be the base of it. Yeah. I called it rose I was like sparkling rose. Yeah. So I'm taking this. Okay. It looks yummy on some ice. And then this is so difficult. Then you add vodka. Okay. And then you drink it. And we're going to see how it tastes. So we'll see. Yeah. This is the Swaddled Chicken. I'm not going to go too crazy because it's kind of early here and I can't, I can't be hammered and picking kids up from school. So that's kind of frowned upon. So cheers, ladies.
Cheers.
To Erica. Cheers to Jen. I'm the only one drinking, but that's okay. Yeah.
You've got a red Solo
Nurses
cup.
Uncorked.
Yeah.
Hey, who knows what Jen has in there,
I know. You never know.
All right. Let's tell y'all how the Swaddled Chicken is. Let's see. I'm not going to lie.
Based on your face.
I would not make this if
Well, that's all right.
All right. Jessica's not drinking today. Okay, so that was the Swaddled Chicken. If you're looking for a drink that makes you not an alcoholic and not want to drink, buy that. Okay?
There you
Mix that
go.
together.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Well, and
So,
and
Erica,
the whole
let's-
swaddled
what?
chicken thing, we got to touch on that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got to
because
talk about that.
if you know Jen, then you know about silkie chickens and Jen that swaddles everything. Where did that all start?
So I had made a video about like showing people how to swaddle something, but I don't I don't have like a baby in my house. And so I think the very first thing that I swaddled was my cat. And then I've swaddled my husband, my kids, and everything. But I also have indoor chickens. And that's a weird thing that not most people have even heard of. But yeah, they're chickens that live inside my house and they wear diapers and they're just fancy ladies. But every once in a while, a fancy lady needs a bath, you know?
Yeah.
You got to wash your fancy lady butt.
Mhm.
So I was giving my chicken a bath. And afterwards, like I'll heat up the towels in the dryer,
Oh my God.
just for extra comfort. And I swaddled her up. And if anyone has not known this, chickens purr when they are happy.
They
And
do.
so I swaddled her up.
But I did after I saw that video.
I swaddled her up, and then she just goes and just like sank
It's the
down
cutest
into
freaking
it.
thing I've ever seen in my
So
life.
cute.
Like
Yes, I
literally,
love
if
them.
that chicken could say, "I'm fucking happy," that's what it would have said.
That's
I mean,
exactly what I would say. Yeah.
it looks like it's melting, like literally, like it's melting into the warm blanket, and its head keeps going. It is just so freaking cute. If you just want a cute video of the day, I suggest looking that up because it's freaking adorable. I love it. So yeah, that's why I named
the
it.
you've ever swaddled is a chicken.
Probably. I mean, it's not weird to me, but I mean, I think probably cats and chickens are the same. But in my house, chickens are cats. Like they just walk around my house like cats, so I call them my cats. So.
And they're the beautiful
so
silky
freaking cute.
chickens. They're I don't even know
They're
how to
just so
describe them. They're
fluffy.
so unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They're
one of
beautiful.
them is blind, so that makes
I
her
didn't know
extra
that.
special.
Oh.
Yeah,
Does she walk into
she's my
things?
little. Oh yeah. She's got cataracts like a little old lady. I know. Yeah. So
What's her name? What's that chicken's
Her name is her full name is Rapunzel, but we call her Punzi or Puns
Aw.
or Puzzle Pop. There's a lot of different names that she has, but I got tagged in a post on Facebook in a chicken group saying like there's this mom who was pregnant and she had outdoor chickens, but she had this very special chicken named Punzi who was blind and was getting picked on by the other chickens. But this mom being pregnant, she couldn't like bring the chicken inside and devote her life to having an indoor chicken at this time. And so she was asking if there was anyone who would be willing to have an indoor chicken. And I was like, sign me up.
Me?
Because I had already had indoor chicken, so we were very familiar with that life. And met up with her, and I still keep in contact with her, show her videos of Punzi. But we have another chicken named Grits, and so she was kind of like one of our OG indoor chickens. And so she's kind of like the seeing eye cat for Punzi, and kind of like shows her where the food is, shows her where the water is, and then they just like they have free reign of the house, and they just walk around. They usually walk in a very small area because they're even a fully seeing silky chicken can't see very much because the feathers on their head are so huge. So yeah,
Her hair is crazy,
isn't it? It
looks like Erica's in the morning. Yeah,
there you go.
No, actually, Erica's the best hair ever. I know. I love picking on you. It's so fun. I can't help it. Yeah, you do have good hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
Well, I first became aware of you, Jen. It's been like 3-4 years now. It's been a long time. But one of the first things I remember seeing you about was Showergate.
Oh yeah.
A video that went very viral saying that you may or may not take a shower every day, and people lost their mind.
Their minds. Yeah,
really.
And I'm over here like, finally someone said it, because people have always thought I was crazy when I say I only wash my hair like twice a week. And I get so much shit for that.
I only wash my hair twice a week. Is that bad?
Really?
Oh yeah. Don't say it on the internet. You're gonna be.
Oh no. I'm gonna be dirty and nasty.
Yeah. Oh, I had so many videos made about how disgusting of a person I am. And I was
Yeah.
like, y'all, the reason that y'all think it's disgusting is because no one else is fessing up. Because
Right.
I guarantee you that there are more people who only shower like twice a week. So, yeah, that was my first interaction with, maybe my first, I think,
Craziness.
getting canceled or whatever. But I didn't care, honestly. Like if you're
If
gonna
that's
call
what
me
you're going to
dirty,
cancel
yeah,
somebody
right,
about,
So
is
stupid.
right,
that's
yeah.
absolutely
But for
ridiculous.
me, I think it's also important that I normalize behavior that is normal for everyone else. Do you follow Emily Ferret at all? You know who she is. She does
I don't think
videos
so.
that are like normalizing normal. So she'll walk around her house and show you her dirty house so that you feel better
Oh, I
about
love it.
yours. And so, but she makes women feel less alone because
Yeah.
we all live crazy sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
and so I thought it was important for me to not back down from that either. Like, yeah, I only shower twice a week and I'm not going to start showering more because you think it's gross. Because
Well,
there
and
are,
it's
there
such
are
an
women who struggle to
American
do that.
thing. In Europe,
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's normal. People don't shower every day, right? That's
Yeah.
kind of normal in other cultures. It's really an American thing, I think.
Yeah.
There
And
was a
what are you
celebrity
doing?
couple that talked about their kids not bathing them every day. I'm trying to remember who it was, and they lost it.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
I think, was it Ashton Kutcher?
I was going to say, was it
They
Mila
would.
Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, I
It
think?
might have been, yeah. Don't quote me on that, but people were like, "That's disgusting. How dare you not bathe your children every day?" And like, they had to stop talking about it because people went nuts.
Yeah. My kids definitely don't bathe every day.
I sure as hell am not washing my daughter's hair every day because that's a
Mm-mm.
pain in the butt. That's the reason. I mean, I think for guys it's so much easier. Like but for girls, like it's a process. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
most of the time, if you want to like do your hair and style it and make it right, it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
I say kudos to you, Jen.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to shower to please the masses.
One of your first intros, sort of, maybe a little bit into cancel culture. But for those that don't know, because surprisingly, there are a lot of people that ask me, what is cancel culture? What is doxing? So it started, I don't know, 10 or so years ago, and it started, as most things do, with good intentions to maybe call out people for discrimination and really kind of terrible things, and with the hashtag "you're canceled" or "canceled," meaning we're going to withdraw mass support from you. But it very quickly evolved into something just untoward, you know? So it really is almost like a cyberbullying thing at this point, and it's often geared towards celebrities or social media influencers, but it can affect anyone in daily life. And it's pervasive, and it's gone way too far, in my opinion. It's this mob mentality, bloodthirst, public shaming of an individual because they did something that rubbed you the wrong way. It's no longer just for these really egregious actions. It's oftentimes for something that you just don't agree with, and it's these keyboard warriors often that would never say these things to your face, that somehow feel empowered to get online and post just absolute garbage and hatred, spewing it towards you. But here's the thing that most people don't realize. It almost never results in anything positive coming out of it. You might feel momentarily better for spouting off behind your keyboard, but give me an example of where it really resulted in some kind of change, because I can't come up with any. It has certainly resulted in people self-harming and taking their own life because they've been so brutally cyberbullied, or bullied in real life. But studies have shown, like, it does not affect any change. So why are we doing it?
Because people want to jump on the bandwagon. That's what people
Yeah.
do. They blindly
Yeah.
see. That's what I think. I think they see that some people are doing it, and it's like, oh, well, if she says this, I'm going to do this. And like you were saying, people hide. I think they just hide behind their screen, their phone, their whatever they're on, their tablet. It's like a detachment. And what's that saying? Hurt people hurt people.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's a big part of it too. It's got to make them feel better or something in a way. I don't really get it why they do it, but
yeah, and I think as humans, like, we all crave to be a part of something bigger. And it's one of those things, like you said, where it started with good intentions, right? You want to be a part of like a righteous cause, but it's gone from things that are egregious and terrible things that were, people really should be canceled for, to being offended by a perspective that you don't share. So, for instance, raw onions are offensive to me. I do not like them. I do not endorse them at all. But does that mean that I go to the grocery store and yell at anybody who's putting raw onions in their cart? Of course not. I don't agree with raw onions, but that doesn't mean that you can't find something redeeming in the raw onion for yourself. So that kind of absurdity of like that kind of analogy really kind of hits home with what it feels like to me, is that, you can take something that you disagree with on somebody. And it used to be like, maybe it didn't used to be this way. Maybe social media is just, highlighting this, but I would love to see a society where we can follow people who may have a perspective that we don't agree with. I know that my own thoughts have been shaped and changed by learning more about a perspective I didn't know about.
True.
So,
Absolutely.
for instance, and people have tried to cancel me for this, like, I grew up in a very, very strict Christian household, going to church every day, not every day, but when church is open, and grew up in a very pro-life, like, there's no situation in which abortion could ever be a thing that should happen, right? And that's how I grew up. Well, by following people with different perspectives, by educating myself, I found that there are situations that it's not so black and white. It's not as black and white as I used to think it was. And I now believe that, like, women should have the authority and autonomy over their body to be able to make that choice for themselves. But if it wasn't for me seeking out other perspectives on the issue, I would still be in that same headspace. So I think that it's so important that we follow people who challenge our own beliefs on things. You might learn something. And if it's truly something where you follow somebody and their perspective on something challenges your peace, right? Like, I cannot follow this person because they said this. Just go. Just unfollow. Like, it's so easy.
It's so easy. Exactly. Just
So
unfollow
easy.
or block.
The hard thing, the most complicated option would be to dedicate your time and energy to the demise of someone else. Like, it makes no sense to me. Yeah. And like, the things that I've been canceled for, I just think are just so absurd. It's so hard.
Well, I know of maybe 2 or 3. Are there more?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I wanted to revamp our perinatal bereavement program at work. So my friends and I created like an Amazon wish list for all of the items that we wish that we could have for our patients. Okay. And I shared this Amazon wish list, and 100% of all of the things that we got went straight to caring for families who are not going home with a baby.
That's an amazing thing to do. What's the problem with
people
that?
said that I was trying to profit off of dead babies.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Let's see.
So they thought you were making money off the sales of the...
Right. Nothing. I got no dollars. 0 cents
so crazy.
From that. Yeah. Whenever I started Hot Mess Express, the canceling was, well, you don't care about dads. You're not doing that for dads. So you're sexist, Oh
my God.
There's been so many things, and like, if I talk about how I treat my Black patients equitably, like I
Mm-hmm.
know that they have a fourfold increase in maternal mortality. So I'm going to, make sure that they get what they need. I'm racist against white people. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's,
You can't
the thing
win.
is like,
No,
no.
that's
And
the
it's not even
problem.
about winning. It's about existing. And like, I want to
Yeah.
be able to exist in a way that is right for me. And what's right for me may not be right for you. And that's okay. That's the beauty
Yeah.
of life and social media, is that we have the ability to follow people who make us feel good. And if at any point your feel goodness is challenged and you're like, I can't handle this, maybe like go outside and put your toes in some grass, first of
Yeah.
all. But if it really affects your life that much, just unfollow, just block completely.
Yeah.
Log off. Go, go call your
I've never
mom.
had the urge to leave. Like, I've seen many people that I don't agree with something that they've said. Like, that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's horrendous. But me personally, I have never wanted to sit there and write them a paragraph or a comment discussing with them how disgusting I think it is. I keep moving on. I just,
Right.
like, I don't get that desire, that need to leave negativity or hurtful things. Erica knows this about me. Like, I love makeup. I wear makeup. I'll wear makeup down to the mailbox, okay? Because that's
Yes, she
me.
will.
I just like it. I love it. I grew up in a household of women, and we wore makeup, and I'm going to wear my makeup, and I like lipstick, and I've got red tuba lipstick right here, and I'm going to wear it. And people will comment, your lipstick looks stupid. Why do you wear so much makeup? I mean, why would a woman or anybody, I mean, it's usually women that do this to me, but feel that, how does that make them feel better to leave a comment or something like that when I still can't wrap my mind around why people do the things that they do. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. And at a certain point, it also becomes dangerous, like
Yes.
I'm on a social media break right now.
Yeah.
Because people have come into my real life.
Nobody, what? What are you talking about?
There's
what?
God,
Jen, you're
gonna
have to
Reddit posts about you taking a social media break. Like, it's gone crazy.
Yeah. And hearing you say this right now is like news to me, because I deleted the app completely off my phone.
Good for you.
And I haven't logged in to Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. I've had people screenshot like Reddit threads about me, like say, hey, FYI. But I have no idea like how much anybody knows about it. So that's interesting.
They know about it.
The whole thing on
the
feed is first Elise Myers and now Jen Hamilton.
Yeah,
that's all I keep saying. Yeah, it's Elise and Jen. Jen, which I'm glad that people care, I mean, at least that shows that there are good people and people that love and support your content, so people definitely care. But it's crazy that it's gotten to this point, because we are humans. Jen's a human, Erica's a human, we're all people. And as much as, people we try to turn this off, it is mentally taxing. I mean,
it is.
I'm sure, Jen, that's how you
very real
how you feel.
Toll. I was just going to read what you last posted on social media that has sent the social media world into a tizzy. About a week ago, you posted, taking a break from this place. We were always meant to live in a community, but never meant to be this connected to strangers' opinions of us, demands for our time and energy, negativity, and hatred. Every day that I wake up, I try to do the best that I can for as many people as I can, but I can't keep doing this. So today, my best is deleting this app for a while. And people lost their mind about that. Because, like you said, Elise Myers, who's another huge social media influencer, recently did something similar. And now they're saying, now Jen, who's next? And you're taking care of yourself. You're prioritizing your own well-being, because social media can be so damaging to you as a person,
Yeah.
as a creator, if you let it. And it's nearly impossible to not let it sometimes.
How has this week felt? I want to know how has it felt to you?
So I'll tell you, the day that I decided, I didn't wake up thinking that that's what I was going to do. But I found myself being addicted to looking at what I was tagged in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also not wanting to know,
Yes.
So it was like this heaviness of like, I need to know what's being said so that I can explain myself or whatever it is that people are saying. And it's funny because I'm being canceled for like 3 things at once.
Wow.
Is it 3? Well, I know of 2. Do you want to kind of touch on it?
It might be 2. Okay, so sure. Back a while, this was several months ago. I was being called out for not talking about Gaza and what was happening in Gaza.
Same.
But what people didn't know behind the scenes was that I had intentionally not looked at anything that had to do with Gaza. So I had a patient who had lost a baby, had a really, really rough shift. I had been crying. And I pulled up TikTok, and it was a video of a building being bombed. And I was like, I cannot handle that right now. Right. So I intentionally was not looking at it at all. So then I started having lots and lots of tags and people coming to my comments about like, you're a terrible person. Like, how could somebody who says that they care about people not talk about this? And so I was like, well, maybe I need to see what this is all about. And of course, like what's going on in Gaza is absolutely heart-wrenching and terrible. And so I educated myself on what was going on there. I made a video. I said that I was going to start sharing more about it. I donated $5,000 to Doctors Without Borders, talked about how you can donate to World Food Bank, kind of giving people resources to contact their own Congress people and political people. And what happened from that was that because I posted about it, I was doxxed, I was found, and fake reports were sent into my job that
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. Wow. So in the comments, and I wish that I screenshotted it before I deleted it, but in the comments of one of my videos, it said, wouldn't it be a shame if we called her employer and insert my employer and told them that we don't want to deliver at that hospital because they have an anti-Semitic nurse. Yeah. And so people were under that thread being like, oh yeah, that would be terrible. Well, guess what happened? I get a call from my job saying we're having reports that there are people who are deciding not to deliver here because you work here.
Right. And that affects them financially. So now they care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So, and that's exactly what the comment said, was that would make a difference because it would affect that hospital financially. So not once did I ever talk about, being anti-Semitic or anti-Jew. I just said that I donated to Doctors Without Borders. And that was enough to put my family's safety at risk, my personal safety at risk, and my livelihood, my job. Like, I still work at the bedside 2 days a week caring for pregnant people. And so then I posted that like I was going to not be sharing publicly anymore because of what happened. And I would continue to do what I can privately. And then everything that I had done prior to that point, according to people on the internet, was fake and performative. And I only did it for performance. So there's that. And then you have the incidents, which I'm sure a lot of people who listen to this podcast are aware of, where, there was a patient who had told a nurse repeatedly, don't touch me. Her husband said it. Her midwife said it, don't touch me. And the nurse continued to listen for a fetal heart rate, which is very important. And the patient punched her, which is never okay. And I made a video where it said nurses should never be assaulted. And then it also said, as nurses, we have to respect autonomy. Like, at a certain point, we have to just back up. And so it's funny because I got canceled for 2 different perspectives of the same video. Okay. I had people making videos that said,
right.
I should have endorsed the punch. that I was not enough of a patient advocate by saying that nurses should not be punched. And then I got nurses saying that I'm not enough of a nurse advocate, that I'm pro violence against nurses. I'm like, two things can be true at the same time. Okay.
Yeah.
Patient should have never punched her ever. Yeah. And then also, as nurses, our only recourse is to educate, and then we can't force things on people. So it's funny that like you could take one video and I'm getting canceled for both sides of the same coin. Like, how is that possible?
Do you ever feel like you just can't
that
win?
shows
Jen?
how ridiculous it is.
But it's like no matter what you say, you're going to upset somebody somehow, some way. You know, so it's like they want you to talk about things because they're important, but then when you talk about it, it's no matter what you do, how do you win? I mean, it's
and to
infuriating.
Me, like, it's not about winning. To me, it's about existing and being making the right choice, right? And there's no right choice when it comes to a lot of issues, and that's why a lot of creators don't talk about stuff that people believe is very important, is because of like what happened to me. Like you try to do the right thing, and then it ends up, you know, coming back into your face, and you know, you're now in danger, and it's scary. It's really scary, you know, for people to like try to find you, and you know, all because you thought you were doing the right thing. Yeah. And so I think that everybody has the right thing for them. And I think I encourage people to do that thing. Whatever they think is the right thing to do for them, do it. But you can't fault people for doing the right thing for them.
Were you a target of Operation Watermelon? Do you know what that is? Do you think you were part of that?
Indirectly, I was. There was a few nurses who made videos about not talking. Well, there was one that mentioned me specifically, but it wasn't the person who heads up Operation Watermelon. She did not make a video about me until after I responded, and so she has since unfollowed me. I think that she is disappointed that I have not followed through, but at the same time, like, I'm still supporting privately. I just can't put my family's safety at risk, as you know. Right. And there are people on the internet who believe that you should absolutely do everything it takes, including putting your family's safety at risk. Oh yeah, because this is that important to talk about. Yeah.
Tell people what it is, Jen. What is Operation Watermelon for people?
I didn't even know what that was. I kept seeing the emoji. I didn't know what it meant until pretty recently.
And it's one of those things that started out with such good intentions, right? So what is happening in Gaza with the Palestinians and how they have, it's a genocide over there. Yeah. And it's hard to talk about things on a social media platform because there's concerns of like censorship or whatever. So the colors of the Palestinian flag are similar to that of a watermelon. So using the term watermelon, and also it was a way that Palestinians could show pride in their country without being able to display their flag. So it's a symbol of pride, but it's also a symbol that shows like your solidarity with Palestinians. So Operation Watermelon was something that was started in order to bring awareness to what is happening. Okay. And so people would, put watermelons in comment sections of large creators. And the point was to change the algorithm to, how it has like a suggested search for whatever video you're watching. It would be to change the algorithm because it's talked about so much in the comments, where people would be able to search a suggested search that would draw them to learning about what's happening in Palestine. Right. So such good intentions, right? But what it turned out to be was, like what happened to Elise. Like she, her son was going through open heart surgery and was, there were people that were wanting to do it the right way and just saying like, oh, putting kind of, stuff in the comment section. But then there were people that actually attacked her, and she left. She was going through so much with her son, and it's just,
and I don't blame
it's sad that something with really good intentions turns into something like what has happened.
And I'm going to say this. The vast majority of people on social media that are talking about it, they're not doing anything other than talking. And they're not affecting any change. They're just talking, So until they're going to donate money like you did, Jen, or get on a plane and go there, or, go lobby the government, whatever, you're just talking. You're not doing anything, and I really believe that it's unfair to expect every celebrity or every influencer to come out publicly on every single issue. It's impractical. And I refuse to cave under that pressure. I refuse.
But it's gotten to the point that they're bullying creators into having to talk about something. And how does that sound good? I mean, to harass people to the point that like they feel so pressured that they have to speak or have to go away. I mean, what is happening right now? It's like it's crazy. It's absolute craziness.
And I feel like, with as good of intentions as were had, and with, how important of a topic this is, what started as something good has actually kind of backfired into being like a negative thing, that people don't want to talk about it anymore because of what happened. So I wish there was a middle ground. I think that, if you have something that you really think is important, yes, talk about it. But also I think that it's important to, as much as you're trying to contact a social media influencer to talk about something, you should be putting just as much energy or more into talking to the people who actually are just the decision makers in the world, and making sure that your voice is heard there, so that we can actually make change. Are things important to talk about? Absolutely. Yeah. Right. And this is something that is, there's a genocide that's happening, and it's important that we know about it. Yeah. And looking to people who are uneducated on the topic to give an opinion is not going to help the situation. And even when I spent hours and hours and days prior to making the video, making sure that I was as educated as I possibly could be on the subject, reading every news article, watching all the videos that are hard to watch. Like, I put myself in those situations because I know that whatever I'm going through pales in comparison to what these people in Palestine are going through. Even when I did those things, I still did the wrong thing.
It wasn't enough.
It's not ever going to be enough. And I know that I'm never going to be enough. And, that ties into like your self-worth and, who you are as a person. And, that's why I had to step away. There's so much that I believe I do a lot of good on the internet, and, trying to do as good as I can with all of the things that, the opportunities that I have, and, speaking to nurses about things that are important, and, helping moms. Like, I feel like I have these areas that are very important to me that I do a lot of good in. And am I going to give up all of that because someone wants me to say a certain thing that is the opposite of what other people want me to say? And then, like, I'm getting doxxed by both sides,
and they try to pit different influencers against each other, and while simultaneously trying to cancel someone. It's ridiculous. The recent issue with the laboring mom that punched the nurse, I had a little bit of a different take on it than you did, but you made your video, and that's okay. Yeah. And I respected your take on it because that is your specialty. That is your area of expertise. Right. And you made some very valid points. I didn't think there was anything wrong with that. Just because I swayed in another direction of what the priority should have been does not negate what you said or your take on it. But people were inundating me with, did you see Jen Hamilton's video? Are you going to talk about?
Mhm.
No, I'm not going to talk about Jen Hamilton's video.
Yeah.
It's
Because even though
absolutely
Jen said,
absurd.
like, the patient should have never hit that nurse, nobody wanted to hear that part of it.
Nobody heard it.
No,
I said
they
it
wanted
multiple
to
times in
hone
the video.
in
Yeah.
on what they heard and put you into a category saying basically that you think she was justified, and that's not what you said. That's
Right.
not
Exactly.
what you said, but that's how people want to interpret it, and that's how they want to spin it, because people see what they want to see. I feel like I'm traumatized to the point that I personally will stick to comedy. I don't want to talk about all that unless it's on the podcast. I mean, this is like my little safe zone. I feel like, I mean, maybe eventually it won't be, but for now it is. It's a no-win situation is what I'm trying to say. They want you to talk about it, but then when you talk about it, they nitpick the way you talk about things, and it's never good enough.
Yeah, and we all have different thresholds of what we are willing to endure for the purpose of talking about a subject, And, like I talk about race when it comes to like how we care for, Black patients, because I think that as a white nurse, I don't think that Black patients or Black nurses should have to educate white nurses on stuff. And as a white lady, I can see how there are a lot of nurses who it's very hard to even hear that, we may have implicit bias and stuff like that.
I know.
And so there's a threshold at which we stop talking about important things because of the fear of what's going to happen to us,
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And then I know I've absolutely been guilty of that, where I'm so traumatized and having PTSD from it that something will come up and I'm like, yeah, I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Whereas prior to that, I would have.
You
I
would
would have
have,
talked
yeah.
about it. And so now, you're looking to me for your source of information. Maybe you're not going to get it like you used to because of what I've been through, and that to me is a shame. It's a shame, and I'm getting better about it. But for me, a lot of it comes down to safety issues, because I'm a single mom, live with my daughter, and I have absolutely been doxxed. I've had security threats, safety threats, and it's terrifying to me. So I go to great lengths to protect my anonymity as much as I can, which is becoming increasingly unrealistic, but as much as I can, within the confines of what I do. But it is not a good feeling to be in that position and to have people sharing your home address, where you work, all other sorts of really terrifying information that people should not have access to. Jessica and I, we've both together been the victims of some cancel culture. I have twice, but we've said that we were gonna talk about it for a long time. And so, Jessica, do you want to kind of touch on what we went through a couple of years ago?
Sure. Let's blame it on me. Just kidding. Okay.
That's
so
not what I said.
I thought it'd be a great idea. We had nurse creators. We were all together.
Nurse Creator
what was it
Con.
called?
We were in Austin,
Nurse Creator
Texas.
Con. It was basically about nurse creators and how you can do other things with your nursing degree. So we had me and Erica and another creator, APR and Beauty. We were all there and friends. So I thought it'd be fun. Let's do like a little TikTok video, right? But it sounds funny. Like, let's do like a little thing. So there was that, I forget how it goes with it. Something like
Bad
Monday,
bitches
Tuesday,
have bad days
Wednesday.
too.
Bad
Megan
bitches have
Snell.
bad days too. Like it was a cute little thing, and it was a trending sound. So we just all kind of hopped in the video, and one of us was like Sunday, Tuesday, when bad bitches have bad, and it was like when we titled it when a bunch of coworkers, I forget what it was, all disliked the same coworker or something to that effect. Now, I make comedy. I do videos on all sorts of different things. I think had I done that video myself, nobody would have thought anything about it. But
I agree.
Because I had Erica and Takara in the video with me that are seen as nursing advocates, they're seen as people that speak out about issues, and they were putting themselves in a role that they typically would not, doing a little skit. It did not come off well at all. To me, it was not out of my realm, but because they were inserted into it, it blew up. I mean, like,
it was
ridiculously bad. It was crazy.
Here's the thing, like,
the backlash that we got because we were seen as bullying nurses. Now we are nurses that bully.
That was it. Is they
nurses.
said that we were bullies and we were not practicing what we preached, and that was very painful for me because, like, I actually started an anti-bullying council at my last hospital. I have been part of my state board of nursing civility committee. I have been the victim of bullying multiple times, especially vertical violence throughout my career. Many, many, many times. That's kind of one of the reasons that I started advocating, and so it's like, pick the one thing that I am most passionate about, or one of the things that I'm most passionate about, and then tell me I'm guilty of that. It was like such a slap in the face, Yeah,
and it's like it people see it as like negating everything that you're so passionate about, because they'll take the one thing, and they also don't allow people to learn from being a human. You know what I'm saying? Like, in the moment, like, that seems like a really fun thing to do, but I'm sure that after you saw how people were reacting, you're like, man, should have thought about that more,
because I didn't I never saw it that way. But yes, when I heard that it took people back to a dark place that made them remember a time they were bullied, and I realized that, okay, I knew it was wrong. It was never our intention, but we're human beings. I'm not always going to get it right, but like I said, I think truly, because I did that with Erica and with Takara, it's your fault, Erica. That's all I got to say.
Blaming it on you.
I couldn't understand it. I'm like, why am I being, I in my mind at the time, I'm like, I lip synced 7 words in something that I thought was funny and just like a little bit of a departure for me, because I don't do comedy and lip syncing and stuff like that,
I did an apology video and apologized to putting people and making them feel and taking them back to a dark place. And if that video reminded you of bullying, I apologize. I don't want anyone to feel like that. That's not what my page is, to make nurses laugh off the day. It's not to take you back to a dark hole in your life that you were bullied. I mean, I wouldn't want that for anybody. And if that's what it did, if that's what they're saying that it did, then I'm sorry. I missed the mark. I fucked up.
Then your apology video wasn't enough, and they demanded that we make apology videos too. And I did. And, I am someone that really needs time to like formulate my words in a situation like that. I'm not going to do that off the cuff. And so I had to sit on it and get a little bit of distance so that I could be in a good headspace to do that video justice. And then I got raked over the coals because it took me a couple of days. But that's how I process.
Yeah. Then
things,
they said that you did it because the only reason you did it then was because I did it. And that then you did it because people said you weren't doing it. It was like, no matter what.
No matter what. And it was terrible. I had to not really shut down my social media, but I turned off comments on everything. But it was insidious. People were emailing me. They were going through my website, emailing me. They were finding every possible avenue to get through to me, even though I had turned off comments and done a lot of things. And it was terrible. It was mean, horrible, like, we're going to find you. You need to off yourself. Your daughter better be
Dang.
looking over her
It
shoulder.
was
Like,
bad.
it was a terrible, terrible time. And
know
I
what's
still
crazy?
have PTSD from it.
Do you ever feel like when you're in those, you know, because obviously Jen's been in being canceled and Erica and I've felt it, like, it seems like when that's happening, all the comments essentially are like, or at least that's what your feed is filled with, is all the bad ones. Like, you don't see the people that are like, hey, I didn't take it that way. Like, or you,
Yeah.
it's like, it
Yeah.
seems like everything that comes up is, or maybe if that's just what stands out in your mind, I don't know. But it's like everything is like the bad comments. And then later on, people will be like, oh, I didn't think that was that big a deal. I'm like, well, where were you?
Exactly. And I would get so angry because, well, why didn't you comment that? Because they are afraid of then being canceled, of being the victim of the bullying. And the really ironic part in our example is we're being canceled for being bullies. And what did the entire world do?
They're
Or
bullying.
at least that's how it felt. They bullied us. It's absurd when you think about it.
What I think is really missing from the world is something that I try to do for everybody, which is assume the best intent.
Yes, assume good intent. That's what I say all the time.
We always are drawn to assuming the worst in people, when every single human being that I know is doing the best they can with the information that they have. And so for us to automatically assume negative intent of every interaction that we have with somebody is no way to live. Like, I can't imagine living like that, you know? And one of my favorite quotes from the Princess Diaries movie, and I know it didn't come from this movie, I think like Eleanor Roosevelt or someone said it, is that no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So what are we going to allow ourselves to feel if we see something that offends us? You know, like, we are allowing ourselves to be that upset and that hurt to then lash out at other people. And I feel like there's a lot of accountability that we can take for our own feelings, our own reactions to things. And so I took that quote and I used it for myself, that no one can make me feel inferior without my consent. And my consent was staying on that app and reading everything and watching all these negative videos. So I kind of took control of my mental health and of my safety in order to just take a step back. And let me tell you, it has been beautiful. I've gotten so much done.
Do you feel like you've so much free
so time consuming?
I cleaned my whole. Did you know that there's 24 hours in a day? I was only there were 2. There used to be 2 hours in a day. And all of a sudden I found so many more, you know? It's crazy. I've cleaned my house.
It's a power move to take that control back and to step away. It's not an easy decision to do. It's hard and it's not easy to stop reading the comments or caring about the comments. I am still absolutely a work in progress when it comes to that.
For sure, yeah.
But I applaud you for having the courage to step away, because it's not easy, but it's a power move.
Yeah. And it's also a large financial decision to step away.
Yes.
And because, you know, as social media creators, like, a lot of our income comes from, you know, being active and posting and, you know, doing stuff. So it was worth it to me to take that loss in order to find myself again, you know? And I feel like now whenever I come back, I swear I'm not crying. I have an eyelash in my eye. Whenever I come back.
This is the clip we're going to use. Jen Hamilton breaks down.
Crying. Yeah, I feel like whenever I come back, I will have more, I don't know, the word that's coming to my brain is power, but like the power to turn it off, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the other thing, it's such a habit to scroll on your phone.
Yes.
So that was another thing that I dealt with, is like reaching for my phone for what, you know? So I've played a lot of Scrabble Go. I played a lot of Wordle. the New York Times daily crossword. So, there's
Are you
that
staying
kind of
off
stuff.
of the other platforms too? Are you trying to stay away from all of it?
Yeah,
Good for
I
you.
took Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok off of my
Wow.
my phone completely. The other thing that deleting TikTok does is it deletes all of your drafts too.
Yeah,
Do you know
it
how many
does.
hundreds of drafts that I had?
I have a lot of drafts in there.
Because if I get a comment that's like a good comment that I can respond to,
Yeah.
I'll like record like 2 seconds of a video and then save it as a draft so that I can find it later. But it was worth it to me to get it off of my phone, to lose all of those drafts, because I was like, I can't continue. Like it got to the point where like I would wake up in the morning and it would feel like immediately someone was sitting on my chest. Like the anxiety of wondering what else was being said about me.
That's awful. What an awful feeling. And
I'm not an anxious person, but I got some anxiety about all of this,
Oh,
so
yeah, me too.
I still believe that I have a lot of good to do on the internet and I will be back. I just have to come back in a good headspace to where I can not allow, because I can't control what people do. I can't.
No.
But they can't make me feel inferior without my consent. So I can consent to that and make me feel that way and live in that anxiety, or I can take back that power and, harness it into doing the best I can for as many people as I can.
I think you need a t-shirt with that on it, Jen.
There you go.
Right?
It has made me so empathetic to anyone that I see on social media that is getting, quote, canceled. I will reach out to just about anybody, even if I don't follow them and I'm aware of it. And even when I don't agree with whatever they did, I can vehemently disagree, but I will reach out to them and say, hey, I've been there. It really sucks right now. I'm so sorry you're going through this. Please know it will end.
Yeah.
Because I'm reaching out to Jennifer Lopez right now.
There you go. Poor lady.
Or J-Lo. Yeah, she's on the cancel culture bandwagon right now. God bless her. But hey, do I think she's a little over the top? Sure. But did I write a message on J-Lo's page? No, sure didn't. Sure did not. I mean,
every time that you direct your energy towards hating someone, you're siphoning your own energy away from the things that are important to you.
Yeah.
And I think, what a waste. Why would you waste your precious time and energy, talents, efforts into the destruction of someone else when you can put it into the things that are most important to you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I think it's important to reiterate what I said in the beginning, that all the research has shown that nothing good comes of this bloodthirst, mob mentality, cancel culture. No real change is ever really affected by it. I mean, think about anyone that has been quote unquote canceled. Are they still there? Yeah. 99% of them are not only still there, but they're bigger than they were before. So what did you accomplish other than harming people emotionally, mentally? You really are messing with people's mental health. You don't realize how damaging that can be and how hard it is to navigate. And there are people, unfortunately, that have taken their life or done other things as a result of being the victim of that. And so I would say to people, think twice before being a keyboard warrior. And is this really something that you need to take action on? Or did it rub you the wrong way? Do you just disagree with someone else's opinion? Do you really need to jump on that bandwagon?
So what's next for Jen Hamilton?
Next week is spring break. So I think I haven't decided when I'm going to come back, but I'm going to enjoy spring break with my kiddos. And we're going to go on a train to a place that my kids are going to love. And so they love kids love trains. Kids love trains so much. So we're going to go on a train and we're going to stay there for a few days. And we've got a house sitter We've got chicken sitters. We've got all the stuff happening. So
You don't just need
So
a
you just
dog
get to
sitter.
go
You need a
be-
chicken sitter.
yes,
Go and be with your family.
I have a specific chicken sitter. Her name is Chris, and she loves my chickens as much as me. So anytime we go anywhere, she's there for the ladies.
One of the more recent things that you've added to your impressive repertoire is keynote speaking, right? How did you get started in that?
That's a good story. So the very first time that I was ever asked to speak was a TED Talk. Okay.
Really? Did you do a TED Talk? I didn't know that.
No.
Okay.
The reason you don't know that is because I did not.
You didn't do it.
I turned that down. I was like, y'all got the wrong girl. I don't know who you're looking for. She's not here. But I had a friend who was a speaking coach. And she's like, yeah, you should, like, if you're being asked to do stuff, like, you should, hire a speaking coach and stuff. And so I talked to this speaking coach and I was like, hey, is this something you think I might be able to do? She's like, absolutely. And my very first talk was right during the time that I was meeting up with a speaking coach. And it was for the North Carolina Nurses Association. And it was in front of 500 people. So there wasn't, but there could have been, like poop in my pants. That's how nervous I was during that speech.
I get so nervous.
But I had prepared. I had done what I thought was a really powerful speech, and I got a standing ovation on my very first talk.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
isn't that the best feeling?
It was the best feeling.
My favorite videos are when you tell about your mishaps in public speaking.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
are the ones I love those videos.
My
I
very
like
first one.
The queefing one had me in stitches, man. Yeah, she's like,
I accidentally
queef.
said queef in a talk, and then my very first one, my like icebreaker video that I had in the beginning of my talk, like explaining who I was a video of me, like a TikTok video that I'd made about blaming dads for farts in labor.
Yes.
And it had like like a long fart in the video. And then afterwards, this man came up to me and he's like, hi, my name is Eugene and I'm the president of the American Nurses Association. And I was like, oh my God. He said, I have some feedback on your talk. And I was like, oh my God.
You're like, I just
Really?
farted in front of him?
Yeah.
Really?
And then he's like, always keep the farts in your presentation. Because he loved the farts. He loved
great.
it.
Men
That's
love
great.
fart
That's
jokes.
great.
They love fart jokes for sure.
So I've kept some sort of, bathroom humor in my.
Did you cut?
in
Did
my
you
talk.
cut out the queef? Did we cut that part out?
No, it
Or
was.
queef?
It was.
Or are we
It
still
was in
using
there.
queef?
I did use. I did queef on one talk. I took it
Why
out
is
for the
that
next
such a
one.
funny word? Like seriously,
It is. But I was talking about how as labor nurses, we don't care. We really do not
we
care.
hear all sorts of sounds like
Yeah. And I was like, you could fart, you could queef, all the things.
and we talk like that too. So people aren't used to that. Like that's just how it goes. So I could see that just coming out.
So the way that I figured out that I said that, because you kind of black out when you're speaking. Like,
Yes,
you just
you
talk
do.
and
Yeah.
stuff happens. So on the way home, my husband said, so do people really queef in labor? And I was like, why are you asking me that? Like, that is such a weird thing to ask. And he's like, well, I'm just wondering since you brought it up in your talk.
Or you're like,
And I was like,
what?
I was like, I told him no. I was like, there's no way that I did that. He's like, no, I swear. And so then went back and looked, and sure enough, I had the evidence, the video footage of the queef.
The queef heard round the world.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, Jen, I want to thank you so much
Yes, thank you.
for coming
Yeah,
on the
thank you.
podcast and talking about this really important issue that I feel like no one really talks about. You hear about cancel culture, but no one really ever talks about what it is and the damaging effects of it.
Yep.
So thank you for sharing your stories, and we look
Of
forward to
course.
seeing you on social media again, but not until you are ready. Where
It
can
don't
people
matter, but,
find
you know,
you when
yeah.
you're back on social media or your
They
website?
can still find me there. I'm just not active right now. But if they just type in Jen Hamilton anywhere, they should be able to find me pretty easy.
Okay.
Well,
All
we'll
right.
be looking forward to when you come back, but at the same time, take all the time you need. Get your head right, and everybody will still be there when you come back. Nobody's going anywhere. So
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
And
Appreciate
remember,
you.
bad bitches have bad days too. You know,
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
yeah.
Even baddies get saddies. That's right.
That's
So,
right.
yeah. Thanks again, Jen. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys.